Okay guys, I am here once again. We're going to log into Matrix MRIS. You're going to hit the Matrix key again once you're in MRIS, logged yourself in. You're going to hit the search button. Today we are going to talk about how to look for comps. All right, again, let's just say we're going to residential and we're going to general. I'm looking for, I have a particular home that my buyer wants to put an offer in, or it could be a home that I have a seller who wants to know how much their home should be selling for. I typically start with the solds. I'm going to show you a couple ways to do this. Obviously, I need a home that's similar. If it's a seller or a buyer, I'm going to put yes. Let's just say the legal, I just did this one this morning, so it's Piedmont. Let's just do Piedmont, Haymarket. And let's just say it's going to be 4+ bedrooms, and let's say it's going to be 3 levels. All right, maybe I won't do plus since it's a comp. We want to look for exact matches if we can find them. And let's go ahead and do detached. Let's see what we can find in Piedmont that has sold. Oh, most important, I almost forgotten. Glad I caught it myself. When you're doing comparables of sold, if I just hit the search button right now, I'm going to pull every single listing from when MRIS was created. So I must put a sold time. Now be careful not to put off-market date. If you put off-market date, that could be expired. But this is ones that have actually closed. So 2013, and remember plus, that brings it forward. If you forget the plus, it's only going to show you properties that closed on the first of the year, which is not going to be very many. Okay, so let's just go ahead and search and see what we find. All right, I got 28. Now, I may want to narrow it down, so I might hit the revise button and say, you know what, I want to make sure that they only have 3 full baths because my subject property has 3 full baths. Let's see what we brought down. Oh, 13. There we go, 13. There are 13 homes that are similar to what mine is. Now, I didn't put in their square footage, so this is going to be something that you're going to have to go through pretty much one-on-one. I always, now notice what I did, display, CMA. And watch what happens. I'm going to get the list price and I'm going to get the close price. Okay, so this is important because I want to see what they listed for and what they sold for. Now, this is the part where that's time consuming. Literally, you're going to have to go in one at a time. Okay, let's take it. This is 0.41. I'm looking at the house. Is it similar to the one that that I'm trying to list or trying to put an offer on? Is the lot acreage very similar? I mean, if mine's 0.18, this one right here, I'd go straight down here to the drop button, okay? But if mine's even 0.35, I would still think that that would be considered a comparable. So this is very important. You want to read some of the details. For me personally, I scroll straight down to the, I'll show you when I get there, if I get there. Okay, let me see. Where is our it doesn't say on here. Well, 2-car garage. Make sure that that's there. Other than that, what I want you to do is go over to the tax record button. You see the tax record button? Hit the tax record button, and oh look, there's that same Amber Ridge one we were just looking at. You can scroll down and you're going to see square footage. Okay, so this is really, really, really important. Living area, 3461. So obviously what I would want to do as well would go to my subject property under the tax record, type the address, and see, does that square footage close? If not, I'm going to go down and I'm going to hit the drop button. If it is, then I'm going to keep this one and I'm going to go to the next. My goal is to get it down to the 4 or 5. I mean, if I can get it down to 3, that's even better. So this one's Horton's Mill. Let's take a look at this one. Let's go to the tax record on this one. Now this one's square footage is 3733. Now if you look at the Amber one we just looked at, which actually disappeared, didn't it? I should have saved it. Let's go back to that one. So this one was, and you can print all this out if it's easier for you. For me, I just go back and forth on the computer until I find exactly what I'm looking for. 3733. Let's go back to Amber's and take a look at this one. So this one is now going to be 34. I mean, 37 to 34, that's a big difference. So I would have to decide whether or not, you know, again, is that comparable to my property? I want to find the closest square footage, the closest number of bedrooms, baths, half baths, and levels. Fireplace. This one's only got 0.36 acreage. Remember, the other one had 0.41. So I'm looking at my subject properties and finding those that closely fit. Now, here's another way to do it. Let's go back, because sometimes people will say, look, I cannot find properties that are similar because in that there is no neighborhood, or for some reason, you know, let's go ahead and put close date 01, and let's go not by, and remember to plus mark, let's go by a map search. 8848 Rixlew Lane, Manassas, VA. I want all the homes that are very close to this, so I'm going to go ahead and scan out. Now I can actually do a radius around this block. I typically only stay in a mile radius, so let's just, that's good. I'm going to hit OK. Now what kind of homes am I going to want here? Detached. I really want them, you know, 3 bedrooms. The property I'm looking at is 8848, and apparently 8848 Rixlew Lane has 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. You just didn't even know it. Okay, and apparently we're also 2 levels. There's a lot of 2-level homes in this area, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. Let's see how many we come up with. There are actually 3 properties, guys, that are within, and let's look at how much they're priced. Interesting. And now let's look at what our CMA view is. So you can see they all sold for, that one sold for a little bit more, a tiny bit less, I mean, not too much less. So interesting enough. And now imagine this is what 8848 Rixlew Lane looks like, something similar to this. Then I would know that these are 3 good properties. If you have to go longer than a mile, fine. If you have to go back more than a year, okay. It's just I would rather you go out in radius than go back farther in time. So you can see the differences that those come up with. And then in the end, what you want to do, I just, again, they're all checked, or else it would say check all, uncheck. I go to reports. I go to gallery 4UP, or if you're going to give this to your client, you want to do the customer 4UP. I give this to the client and let them see, just to let you know this property sold. The taxes were this amount. This is how much it actually closed for. This is how much it closed for. This is how much it closed for. Are these homes similar to the homes? Yes, those are all pretty much identical homes. They're very similar. 322, 325, 321, that's very similar sales prices. So we already know the range is between 320 and 325. So, you know, these are great comps to use if your home looked like this. I mean, it's kind of obvious what the value is. Okay, hopefully that helped you guys out. I am certainly available for more instructions, but this is a basic, just a basic, you know, version. And also, by the way, there is a CMA button down here. You can work with that if you want. I personally don't use it. You can select a contact's name and then go on to create, and it'll actually help you create it from start to finish. Again, I don't particularly use that, but you are more than welcome to play with it. And best of luck. If you guys have any questions, you know where to find me.